Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Jacob.
And Hannah.
Back here with Commerce Connects. Today, we have Chris Jackson of Jack.Stacks.Eats.
Jack.Stacks.
Hey,
Jack.Stacks.
go into it a little bit.
Hey. So, yeah, we're switching it up. It's Jack.Stacks.Eats.
Okay.
Eventually, I think I'm going to migrate to the Jack.Stacks, but just more of a personality versus just food and just, show my variety.
Nice. I like it. Yeah. So where did Jack.Stacks come from?
So the name actually came from, a lot of people hit me up like, are you associated with Jack.Stacks barbecue and stuff like that? It's like, no, it's just a name. My last name's Jackson. So I had so many names playing basketball, from C-Jack to Kobe to Jack.Stacks. I mean, back then, it was all about the Wayne area stacking money. And so the Jack.Stacks came from that. So, and I just stuck with it.
I like it. It's catchy. I mean, because for the longest time, like, I thought your name was not Chris.
A lot of people
I got
still
to know
call me
you,
that.
and I was like, no, yeah, it's Chris over here. But yeah.
Dude, I'm going to be honest. I thought the Jack.Stacks was like towards pancakes.
Yeah,
okay.
I've had that.
Yeah.
I've had that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, and then it's food. Like, oh, he's playing off his last name in pancake.
Right. One of my first logo designs included pancakes.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I was like, nah, I don't.
Yeah.
I switched it up.
Man.
Yeah, that's what's up. Heck yeah.
So you are transitioning right now into more of like the influencer realm, stuff like that.
Yes.
So let the people know kind of like what all do you do, like outside of just even like the influencer realm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just a full-time dad. I got 3 girls, and I am just, it's just my personality. So what you're seeing on my social media is just, I mean, I've been that person. So it's been nice to just put it on camera, and I don't have to fake it or try to be this commercial dude or radio dude. It's just me enjoying food. I'm a host. I do guest appearances. I go help with restaurants. So, hey, can you come try my food, help me get a little publicity. But it's all centered around just shining light on other people and other businesses, right? And then including my lifestyle, because people like to follow a journey. And so just bring people along that journey with me doing these different things.
I love that. Would you consider that, like, I know influencers, do you consider influencers entrepreneurs as well?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. The game's changed. So that's the biggest thing. It's social media has grown into this thing to where you can do so much with it. It's universal. It's diverse of what you can use it for, from being a business owner to just being a person who shares their story.
Okay, entrepreneur, you just started the full-time influencer, right?
Yes.
What kind of was your journey on that? And is that something you thought, is that something you saw for yourself eventually, was full-time influencer?
Yeah, so I got pushed into the full-time part of it. So what that happened was I was working a full-time job and doing this as a hobby on the side. But it's grown so much in the last year and a half to where I was starting to think like, man, how can I take this full-time? What necessary steps do I need to take? And I got pushed into it, let go from my job on my day off. But yeah, it's a long story. But like I said, it was kind of mutual. And it's just one of those things where honestly, like I had been talking about it like 2 months prior. There's all these changes going on. And it was just, I was basically in these murky waters where I wanted to come out on the influencer side.
Yeah.
And so I just got pushed there a lot sooner. So I'm excited because a lot of people are like, oh, how's it go? But it's like, man, just be happy for me because now I'm in a space where I can truly be myself and trying to figure it out because I had the passion for it. And now it's just putting it to work, getting out, grinding, reaching out to places, letting them know I'm doing this and showing them what I can offer. Because, I have the platform. I've been growing the following. I'm over 65,000 followers now between all platforms, and it's just going up. Now that I've become full-time, you can post a little bit more, engage with people a little bit more, include them a little bit more, and so all of that's working and helping in my favor. So.
That's awesome. I mean, and just because I guess we both dabble in like the influencer full-time-ish realm, and I mean, just being able to make your own schedule, I feel like is freeing for at least me, and I don't know about you. So how do you like that? Is it tough to make your own schedule, or do you like having the freedom to essentially, kind of create what you do throughout the day?
Yeah, so I'm in that, I'm in the beginning phases where it's like, okay, let's structure it, and so you're trying to figure out what that structure looks like for you. So I got the basics down, but it's still like, okay, new jobs are coming in, or how do I manage, or should I do it the next day or the same day? You know, should I spread it out? Do I need the time to edit?
Yeah.
You know, it's just figuring out what works for me and my schedule because I'm doing all the editing too. So it's
Oh, so you're a one man
top
band
to bottom. Yeah.
over here. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one thing that I'm like learning. Like, okay, got to space things out a little bit and keep it on the same track.
Is that something you would want to let go eventually? Is like the editing part?
1,000%.
Because I know that's what I hate, and that's, you know, I don't know if Jacob loves that or is he just good at it? Because he's good at it.
It's one of those things where it's like I'm almost in that same boat of like I've kind of came to the realization of what I love to do. It's like I love to be the guy that shoots this stuff. Like if I can have the vision already kind of set with examples, and they're like, hey, do the lighting, do this, do that, and I can make their vision come to life. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely in that same boat of like, editing. It's such a bottleneck even for like myself.
Yeah.
So hire off an editor.
Right.
I can definitely point you in the right direction to some.
Yeah, definitely need that.
But on the social media side, use TikTok, Instagram, are those like your two, and Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a pretty good Facebook.
Yeah,
following
so
as well,
it's kind
too.
of flipped where it was all Instagram, and then it migrated to mainly TikTok and keeping Instagram in the second place. But now Facebook has come along to where it's like, okay, now I got a good balance. And now it's figuring out, okay, what content do I purpose for which platform?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely the advantages to doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's your personal favorite?
Right now it's kind of like Facebook because you
Yeah.
can like just get on there, type post, say whatever you want, which is different from like Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta get the stuff that looks pretty and do stuff for Instagram. Then TikTok is nice. I just haven't explored the option of just communicating and talking on camera and doing that directly. But Facebook is just kind of like free game. It's just like you got your local supporters, people know who you are, and they're all for it. And it's just I love them all, but I'm just loving that I can do different things in those different spaces.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you said, we were talking earlier a little bit about YouTube. Is that kind of something you're wanting to push more, get together?
For sure. So YouTube is, I'm figuring it out. I'm starting with a little daily vlog just to get the consistency down. Because that's most important. If you're consistent, that's what helps you grow because you can learn from it. Like the editing we were talking about. Like I love editing, but it's getting to the point where I can do much more than just spend hours on editing.
Yeah.
You know, I can spend that time in front of people, building relationships, doing events. But it's just nice to be just in the space to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, just the opportunity to, have people that truly enjoy the content, and I get messages all the time. So it's just one of those things where you just kind of find your purpose. Which I feel like I found, and like I said, I've been this person for all my life. So if I would have turned the camera on a little bit sooner, you guys would have seen it sooner. But now this, it's all about timing, and God has His timing with everyone and individually. So I'm just happy to be in that moment, and so I'm just putting all my faith and just trying to do my best moving forward.
Yeah. No, well, you're doing a great job because I personally love your stuff anyway. So like,
Man,
I see, I'll be watching your videos and I watch them all. And even my sister, my twin sister, she doesn't know all the people that I network with and stuff.
Right.
And she's like, oh, have you seen this page, Jack.Stacks? I was like, yeah. And she's like, that's one of my favorite food pages. I'm like, yeah. No,
I appreciate
know,
that. I love hearing those stories. Man, I was just in Kansas City and somebody came up like, hey, I think I know you from TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, to be in another city, another space, and somebody to recognize you, it's like, okay, that's just motivational and just keeps me pushing forward.
Yeah.
That gives me energy.
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
Oh, no, yeah. That's definitely, it keeps you like the wow thing. Like, oh, you know who I am? Like, what? Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool. And you say you also do events.
Yes.
What are some of, I know, but what are some of the events that you are currently kind of doing?
Yeah, so like right now, with my guy DJ for the Win and Festive ICT, we're doing big shout outs because they got me into the hosting space, but we're doing the Hangover Brunch right here in Wichita. We started at Doma, now we're at the brick and mortar building every month, and it's just beautiful vibes where you just come, we got food for you, we're gonna play some music, set some vibes, and it's just the city coming together and it's all on some good vibes.
That's
like
awesome.
just having fun. But doing that, also hosting my first wedding.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Let's
coming
go.
up. So I'm excited about that, People have been telling me that for a while, like I can do weddings. But it's
you
just
have the voice and the energy for that. Like you definitely, that's a good space for you.
So it's nice. So I'm learning to start listening to people, because I'm stopping myself from doing those. So I'm like, really, me? Like, okay, but now I'm walking in it, and there's gonna be some hurdles to overcome, but it's just learning the process and just getting comfortable, like anything.
Yeah.
Because I definitely would love to do it. It's just get over the fact like why me? So, but doing that, a lot of restaurants hit me up as far as like grand openings, just to help spread awareness, whether it's a giveaway for an event coming up. Just a little bit of everything, and so now it's just I'm on the other side of it, like how do I monetize this, because I love giving back and doing things, but how do I turn it into a business model to where I can still support my family.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so I know you're in the early stages of like influencer and business stuff. Do you have an LLC that's put together with your, because I know there's some influencers who don't, and then some who do, and I was one late to the party. I probably should have gotten. I have one now, but from what I've been using social media for, I should have had a long time ago.
Yeah.
But so, are you set up with that route? And what advice would you give to influencers that potentially would want to go that route?
Yeah. So it was, for me, what I learned in the beginning is this is something that I wanted to do full time from the first 1,000 followers that I got. I was like, man, okay, I would love to be doing this full time. Like, how do I keep it going? So I immediately looked into like doing an LLC, and luckily I had a friend who had a friend, and we just communicated. She answers my questions. She helped me set up everything. Even worked on getting some trademarks for like my Amen, let's dig in that I say in a lot of my posts, as well as like sizzle bizzle. So I was on that in the forefront because I wanted to do much more. But I recommend doing it as early as you're ready, just because if you want to get to that point, it's like just doing like the necessary steps so that, you can check off things off your list. Like, I got that done. Now it's what's next, I'm very big on, if you got something on your mind, you got something on your plate, of finishing it. So you can free up your mental space and get to the next thing. Because otherwise, you're just building, and that just causes more stress, more anxiety. You want to take a nap. You just kind of want to escape for a minute, which is all good and done. But if you can just knock out just one by one, just knock things out,
I love
it'll
that.
help free up a lot of mental space.
I love that. Yeah.
So when we were, you're talking on like the first time somebody like up in Kansas City noticed you. When was like the first time like your kids saw that, and like what was their reaction?
Oh yeah.
like did they think Daddy was famous? Like what's going on there?
Yeah, they think it's really cool, which is pretty fun. Like it's becoming more of a like. Of course they know you.
Yeah.
It's becoming that, but they enjoy it. Like even my daughter, my oldest, right? They're old enough to where she's in middle school, so a lot of her friends follow me. Every time I walk in the building or go to one of her games, they're saying, "Oh, there's Jack.Stacks," or they're doing the little teenage thing, and you can hear them talking about you, but then they're not acknowledging you face on. So they enjoy it. They low key enjoy it a lot, but they think it's pretty cool, and they love seeing the videos and doing the Amen, let's dig in.
Yeah.
So, they're just kind of living it. It's like one of those things where I always thinking about it like I'm not big celebrity type status, but I mean like thinking like Kanye West kids, like they just grow into it. It's normal for them. So I mean, they're still bad kids at the end of the day, but they love it. They enjoy it. Because sometimes they're just like, "Can I get on camera?"
I was gonna say they make some apperances every now and then. Get a little guest appearance on the page. That's awesome.
I learned to stop just putting the camera on it, but they'll ask when they want to be on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're like, "Get that camera out of my face."
Yeah, like, get it away. No, that's fun.
Yeah.
So with the entrepreneur journey, and like, what are some of the hardships like a lot of people don't think about when getting into it?
Man, it's the trial and error. So I'm new to it. Like I'm barely 3 weeks into this. And it's like, what do I do? What do I not do? Right? Because there's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of people that you can listen to on YouTube. There's a lot. But at the end of the day, you got to find your own path. What works for you? Your strengths are different from other people, just like your weaknesses are different from others. And so it's just getting in front and putting the work in, hearing the no, okay, how do I change it? Who do I reach out to? Who is my demographic? Who, there's a lot that goes into it that personalizes your journey. So I think that's the key thing, because there's not a blueprint to where like, here, you do this, you're good. They're not telling you like, yeah, you're going to get one yes out of 10 no's. They're not telling you that, yeah, you want to get paid, your value is this, but they don't see that value. There's a lot of hurdles that you'll have to overcome because, it's good to have the motivation and everything behind it, but then there's also the other part of it where you got to get other people on the same page with you and find what is your path and who do you go through, who do you link up with, who do you collab with to get there.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing too, like even with myself, is knowing what number do I put on what I'm doing. It's like, because in my head, it's like, I know what I can be charging, but do they see it as that value? So how do you go about like charging and stuff like that?
So it's still, like I said, that's a work of art, right? Because I know what other people are making. I know I got a bunch of influencer friends. I've actually reached out to bigger influencers and have conversations with them that are outside of even the Midwest. And so I know what the market is, right? But we're in Wichita. It's different. Wichita is so much different than just KC, 2.5 hours away. So I got a bunch of friends up there that are helping me with just insights and what their conversations are like with other restaurant owners. And so there's more money there, though. Kansas City is on fire. The Chiefs, back-to-back Super Bowl champions.
Let's go.
They're redoing the Ram tracks all throughout the city to give you longer access. So there's a lot of coming into there. So it's just taking what they're telling you and then, okay, how can I apply it here? And for the most part is if you don't have, because a lot of people aren't just going to give you the game. You can try to like, hey, I need to link up with you, but they're not going to just tell you like, this is what I do, just go do this. And I bet you can, it's Wichita's a little bit behind when it comes to it.
It is,
Not everybody, though. That's the nice thing. So I made enough relationships where I know, like, okay, I got people that I can lean on and get information from. But just when it comes to the thing, it's just getting in front of people, asking, and let them know, hey, this is my value, having the data to back up what you feel like your value is. And I think it just starts with just finding your first client. Then once you find your first client, you build with them. You're doing a lot of stuff for free. You're doing a lot of stuff just to get your name out, but you're also doing it just to set the tone. Like, hey, this is what I can do for you, right? So I can come out there this one time, show you. I can even give you a free video. If you like that, what can we do?
100%
next. Like, this is my services. Have your template. Like, this is what I charge, and so it's just the conversation. It's just the relationship that you got to work on to get to that point, right? Yeah. Unless you have somebody backing you that can, do it for you. I think it's just going through and just, gauging your market to see what the consensus is. Yeah,
and that's kind of where I've been noticing myself. And it's cool to hear you say that too, because like when I go out and I'm pitching stuff to people, I'm noticing more often than not, I'm having to do that first 2 videos even for free. Where it's like, okay, like, hey, you've seen my portfolio. You've seen that I can do this stuff, but I still got to prove it to you. So it's in your face of like, hey, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
So
do you feel for you? So like my question is like, do you feel like it's just new for people?
Yes. So I feel like, when I came back, so I lived in LA for a handful of years and then COVID hit, I moved back and I was like, okay, what do I do? Out in LA, we did music videos and stuff like that. So I tried to do that here. Noticed that wasn't really the thing to do. And then I was like, hey, we also did some commercial stuff out there. Let's try to bring like the LA social media side here.
Right.
And I'm going to people and they're like, oh, no, video. Like we don't need social media. We don't need social media. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't need it? Like Instagram's on the rise. Like TikTok was on the rise. Yeah. Like why aren't we pushing these platforms?
Yes.
Oh no, it's okay. Like we don't need to spend money on that side.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, slowly but surely, I'm noticing more and more people, like, be willing to do it. And then, obviously, it's like, the more they see their peers doing it, the more that they're going to be open to doing it.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of hard, especially for restaurants, to track the analytics. Because if it's like we're selling an event ticket, we have the pixel that tracks straight from the video to there to know, like, hey, this video generated X amount of tickets. But for instance, like Kobe's, when I do their work, we're just like, okay, it got X amount of shares, which might have brought some people in, or some people might notice or like say something while we're in there. Like the other day, I was in there and a guy mentioned, "Oh yeah, I saw how you guys made this on Instagram." And it's like the volcano, how they made that. And I just kind of glanced at him and just grinned, because I knew I was like, "Yeah, cool." That our videos are actually getting out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's the hardest part, is proving like the number of sales that you're bringing them.
Right.
And especially in the restaurant industry, like, I mean, you could have like my best way to find out that is doing discount codes.
Yeah.
Is being like, hey, use code Jack.Stacks here, but I mean, it's getting people to agree to do those.
Yeah, well, in Wichita, so kind of not so behind, but like other big cities are doing stuff like that, so they can track their influencer retention rate. But Wichita is just a little bit behind on using influencers in general. Like the price tag for an influencer here versus even Kansas City,
right?
So different. And then you go to like Dallas and LA, the price tag is so different. Boom. But if they use it and if it gets to the speed where it needs to be here, I think it can help so many businesses, because your reach on Instagram is going to top radio, TV commercials, newspaper. So really the marketing should be in social media, and then the local business should see the value and then, move some marketing dollars over from, commercials on TV to paying some influencers to, shout out your brand and really do that. And I think that's where people like you stepping into that full-time realm is going to show kind of the city on your value and what influencers should be paid here, because it should be a full-time job for a lot of people who do it well and who are passionate about it.
Right. That's the big thing. Like, people are out there doing it, because I see a lot of bad social media accounts. I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of bad ones out there. I've had businesses where I've had done great retention for them, or great views, or comments, all of that. And they'll flip around, not even like your post. Yeah. And then try to do their own thing and act like they don't need you. But then it's just so bad.
Yeah.
It's not a competition. Like, social media at the end of the day is still an art.
Yes.
It's still 100%. A craft, because it has to look good. You got to be able to draw people in, and it's forever changing. I mean, they change the analytics of how the reach works.
Yes.
Yearly. So if you're not on game with that, or you don't understand what's working, and you just try to jump in and make your little low lighting reel and think that's just good enough, it's not. It's not just making a video.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of businesses are going to find that out really quick, because they're starting to see a lot more pop up and try to make videos. Yeah. And the sooner that they realize, like, hey, this is a craft, and just like you were charging for put your ad in the paper or put your ad on the radio, like, investing in your local influencers,
it's big time.
Is going to be a big thing, because that's the new reach. People are there for that instant gratification, and then they're going to swipe to the next.
Yeah.
So if you can't grab them in,
then
you're going to get passed on.
Well, and I think that, being a local influencer now, because Wichita will come they're going to come to it, So getting in the scene right now, in a year, that's, we're going to see, because Wichita's always a year behind. So wait a year, you're going to, maybe like
a little bit more.
I used to say like 4.
Yeah.
Well, 4 to like, it depends.
It depends on the market.
Yeah, fashion definitely 4%.
Because my thing was like with Blake's store. When I moved back in, we were like talking with All Things Hype and all them, and I was just like, yo, Wichita's not catching on. Like, I just came from LA, and they got like the whole Fairfax row is just shoe store.
Right.
And then we come to Wichita, it's like, at that time, it was just Blake.
Yeah, we have shoe boutiques kind of everywhere.
Yeah, it's starting to pop up finally.
And like, but now people are accepting it. And it's just like, yo, like, why buy stuff online when it's like right there?
Yeah.
Like, we got it here now.
Yeah. What do you think that Wichita can do better to move forward quicker? Like, what's something that, if not we can do, or just the city?
Honestly, I've kind of tossed it up as it's going to have to just come with the next generation. As the younger people like us, and maybe even the younger group, get into those positions of ownership and are at the forefront of that. They're going to know more about, like, hey, we got to keep up with the times, right? Think about your parents when social media first came out, or all the parents out there that still can't work a camera, right? So you got your people that are set in their ways, that even our age that don't do that, but then you're gonna, but we're having a higher percentage of our generation understanding, like, hey, we got to be at the forefront of this, you know, as far as if we want to start a business, if we want to do that, like social media is a part of that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just a thing where, as time goes on, we're learning to adapt, but it's just a generational gap. It's just because we didn't have much 20 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It is very fast paced.
It's very fast paced. So like I said, a lot of that 50 to 60s that are owning these restaurants and businesses, like they don't see that. Like they try to keep up, but they're, you know, it's not the same as far as like they don't understand, right? Just like I don't understand some of the new music out right now.
Yeah.
You know? But it's going to be a thing. Like, I know what still sounds good and what people like, you know, versus like the older generation, like they're just not listening to it at all.
Yeah.
Right? So I still try to tune in, still try to stay up to current. And that's social media forces you to do that.
Yeah.
Right? A
The
little
trends
bit when
and
you're
stuff.
the trends and what's popping now, what songs are people liking, so I can add it to my reel, all of that, you know, it helps you keep in tune a little bit better.
Yeah. And that's one thing I think like business owners themselves need to almost just release the like jobs to, I guess. Like get rid of, like, stop focusing on social media, hire people out like yourselves, like the influencers that know what the trending stuff is.
Yeah.
Because even like on our side of like creating the content, I mean, the fast paced editing, that's going away. Like you're coming back, like you're starting your vlog journey at the perfect time.
Yeah,
right.
Because
perfect time
like
for that.
so many people are going back into like, okay, I'm tired of having stuff spammed at me all the time. I just want to hear people talk.
Yes.
And that's why I think podcasts are starting to really boom again.
Exactly.
Just because Instagram and TikTok, we've all realized like it kills your attention span.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now that like everyone's just kind of slowing things back down, I think like you're coming into that vlog era.
Yeah.
Right on time. Yeah. And the Wichita influencer era, I think you're coming in at a perfect time, you know, the top, like, and it's going to start booming. So
it's going to change.
Yeah. You're honestly, you know,
Hey.
you're right where you should be, honestly, in my opinion, you know.
No, you can feel it.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, even I think about myself, I don't watch the news. I don't pay attention.
No.
Like, I mean, if it's like the three influencers that like always pop up on my feed that I pay attention to is you, EB, and Wichita Life.
Yeah.
Those are my big three. Like, you guys keep everything informed. Like, you and Eddie got the food side, and I was like, man, where do I want to eat? I'm pulling up. Cool. You or Eddie. Yeah. And then events, whatnot. Cool. Let's check out Landon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think just seeing how you guys are all just kind of like taking over that market, I'm excited. Like,
you guys,
no,
it's exciting. You know, it's just it's cool because, you know, just to hear that, it's just like, and I'm just like over here just following my passion. Like, you know, I love to do it. Like, I love that. I love that you stopped me on the street. Like, hey, that place you talked about was really good. Even the ones like, hey, you lied about that other place. I didn't like it at all. Or they'll hit you with that. My food didn't look like yours. So I love it, you know, because it's just a passion. Like that small connection is just so big to me. And so I'm telling you, all that fuels me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always a believer when passion meets purpose, it equals peace. So, you know, that you're kind of right in that equation.
Yeah.
So, and you can see it too.
Yeah.
Like just, you know, you can see it. You're thriving right now and I love to see it. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, speaking just on trends, because we were just talking about trends, do you follow trends or do you more want to put your touch on it? Or, you know, there's always trends on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yes. What is your kind of thoughts on that?
I think it's important personally to, it's cool to jump into a trend for like a split second. You know, I want to make a video like that. But it's also even better if you can make your own trend.
Yeah.
So it's even taking what's going on right now and flipping it and just making it your own.
Yeah. I like
so
that.
when you're learning and doing all that stuff, I think it's very important. Whatever you learned, it's, mimicking is flattery, right? But if you can go in your own lane and just push it to where you're like, this is me, this is my style, and and people like it and they see it's not being done. Like, I think that means a lot more, and it'll be more substantial as far as you can blow up, or it can be just your followers like you that much more because it's like, oh, I'm following him for him, right? I'm not clicking on the page just because it's part of a trend.
Yeah. I like that.
Well, that's like your whole, like, kind of what I saw at the beginning was like the amen, let's dig in. Like, you in your car, like, it's very raw and intimate.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the pressure of everyone watching you. And it's just like, man, it's just me and the food. And that's what I loved about it. Was just like, you could tell it was just pure. I mean, because there was times where you're like, I don't know about this.
Right.
Or in the other times where you're like, man, this gets the sizzle bizzle. Like that type of stuff where that's like your brand. And where it's like, cool, that's where he's true to himself on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still do the car eating, or are you more out in the restaurants?
So it's just I've been running around so much. It's just slowing down and be able to do that. You know, it's very important to me. So I got some mapped out time on my calendar. Like, okay, this is going to be a car review. This is going to be a car review. Because I think I like doing those. You know, because I don't have to, like I said, worry about people watching me. It's just me eating. What do I think about it? And post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of kind of the food side, obviously that was like, it's where you kind of started out, except, the most recent type thing.
Yeah.
I know everyone's kind of had their own social media journey.
Right.
Are you wanting to stick in that lane? I know you're doing events and stuff, or what do you see for the future of kind of like your brand and your influencer brand?
So my vision is it's me. Like, it's like, I'm an athlete and I got NIL deals here, and here, right? So I'm doing all this stuff. I'm making appearances. I'm hosting. I want to get a lot more hosting gigs and putting on events. But food will always be a part of that, you know? So I want to do multiple things and keep the food sector of it for sure. I think, you know, I got to eat every day. And I mean, especially when I get an editor, you know, it's like, hey, edit that for me. I went here. Make sure you put it in a good light, and then move on to the next things that I have planned. So definitely just spreading it out. But food will always be a part of it. It'll be a big part of it. I just see me revolutionizing it to where I'm doing much more with it versus just the reviews, you know, so hitting you from different angles, hitting you with the chef and how they make a dish, or giving you information on the products that go into the, you know, just I'm gonna mix it up. But reviewing the food is always gonna be a part of it.
Yeah.
When we getting the sizzle bizzle sauce? When's
that coming we got a barbecue sauce. We got a family barbecue sauce. I actually did a giveaway for it last year. Got raving reviews. So I think we're going to keep it going. It's kind of a family recipe, so we can't do too much with it. But you could probably see some future pop-ups.
Okay, be ready.
Giveaways, or maybe make some sandwiches so you can make put the sauce on top. It's coming. Man. It's coming. We're going to do a little bit with it.
Let's go. Awesome. I love that. I love all your kind of like slogan stuff, sizzle bizzle, you know.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. Like that's catchy. Like that's, you know.
Sizzle bizzle, I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Like, you just in the kitchen, auntie cooking, mama cooking. I hear that sizzling, tasting it. Like, ooh, this is the sizzle bizzle.
Let's go.
So that's been a thing I was able to bring. Then the amen, let's dig in. That was just kind of, it just came once I started reviewing. I was like, man, I need something, because I wanted to pray on camera. I was like, I'm going to do that, but like, what do I say after I pray? And, you know, it's like, amen. Let's dig in. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I love it. It's catchy, you know.
Yeah, it works. People, somebody told me that it comes from like some old show. Somebody saw it.
Oh, did it really?
In an old movie, maybe one time. I don't know. It's like old school, like back in the day.
Okay, old school.
Like maybe black and white. I don't know, but they say they've heard it. But I've never seen it. But I would love to like look it up one day.
I was like, you should link that into a video or something. Like, I don't know. That would be cool. But no, that's cool. I love all those. But yeah.
So how do you go about like when you decide to film at a restaurant?
Yeah.
Like, do you try to be like incognito at first, like, or because I know like some food reviewers, they try to be like faceless, and so they can go in and not feel like they're getting any special treatment. But you're, I mean, forefront. That's you. Yeah.
So that's that. Yeah, it's just me. Like, I like just going in. If you recognize, you recognize. If you don't, you don't. But like, if I'm wanting to, if like I'm going there for like a car review or something, I'll try to call it in ahead of time. You know, that way I can get my order and go. You know, get to the car, because I mean, these restaurants will just bring out extra dishes, extra food. And, I don't want the special treatment. I want the food that you're serving everyone.
Yeah.
So I try to do it that way when I'm doing a car review, in and out, pop through the drive-thru real quick. Mm-hmm. But I do book settings, so I'll come in, sit down, and do the whole thing. But the nice thing is, even though I do, like, even when they know I'm there, I let them know, like, or they call me out and it's a paid gig, for instance. I'm like, what kind of review do you want? Do you want the promotional or do you want my honest one? So I give people the option.
Yeah.
But even when it comes to like me speaking or talking about the food, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm always going to give you my honest opinion, but I can go where it's, you just want quick clips of the video and just talk about, hey, have you been here type post, or do you want like just me enjoying the food? What do I like? What do I don't like? Because I mean, the nice thing is people want the honest review.
Yeah.
A lot of people want it, and like, okay, that's fine, and they're paying me, because at the end of the day, even though I may not like something, I'm going to try to find something I do like and focus more on that.
Yeah.
I'm not in the business of bashing restaurants, so if I go through and you got 3 things that are bad, like, I'm just gonna move on. I'm not gonna focus on it. Like, look at this. It's I did do that with Dewey. I had a bad experience, and somebody just asked about, you should do that. I sent the link, but I want to focus on the positive, right? Because I mean, these are still, at the end of the day, business owners, local owners that are here. That, I mean, this is their life, right? So, and especially when you get more influence in the city, or more people that follow you and are really looking for your review on something before they go to a spot. I'm big on, being honest, but also shedding light on, hey, come check them out. Make sure you get the Oreo peanut butter milkshake. This is amazing, but I'm always big, regardless if I like it or not, you go try it for yourself.
Exactly.
And let me know. I tell people all the time, like, I'll try to comment like, hey, let me know what you think. Give me your review once you go. Yeah.
No, and that just on the social media side, stuff like that creates a lot of interaction on your posts too. It's like, this is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But let me know how y'all feel about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me know what your experience was. I know some of y'all have been. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, because everyone's taste buds are different at the end of the day. So, you might like the sweet stuff. I might not. But I'm still going to watch your stuff because I like how you review food. So,
exactly. So people watch it for different reasons. Whether it's informational or entertainment.
Yeah. That was cool.
Have you tried that new Sicky's burger spot yet?
I didn't make it. They just opened Monday.
Yeah,
right?
I saw that. Hey, I drove past it like a while ago, and I was like, man, that looks good. Like, they were putting up a sign, and I was like, man, I wonder when they open. But then I saw EB's post, and so I was wondering if you went. So I need to hear about that one.
I wanted to go. I will go. They didn't invite me.
I was going to say, did they reach out to you? Because a lot of the new restaurants will reach out to you.
Haters.
No shade to Sickies. But I reached out to them, and I still didn't get in.
Oh, so they didn't even hit you back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to rip that.
I'm going to go, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'll definitely hit them up, give them an honest review. They'll probably get a car review just to see what I felt about it. But no, I last weekend was the soft opening. I was just in Kansas City. I went to go see Messi.
Oh, so, how was that? That was crazy.
Man, that's the GOAT.
No, for real.
Listen, so I can tell you right now, behind closed doors, he's got to be mad at his teammates.
Yeah.
Because his foot, he's not even running as fast as he used, but his ball control is crazy. He's dropping passes on a dime. They're bobbling the pass and can't get it right. But you can tell, he's elite versus everyone on the field. He's definitely different. There's a reason why he's walking around and still on the field.
Yeah.
Because once he gets the ball or in his area, he's going to control. Like, he had 3 people on him one time and was just juking the mess out of him and still kicked it out. I'm like, wow. Everybody else, it's levels, different levels. Yeah. He's definitely elite. Even at the age of 36.
So did he come? So I didn't know about, I saw he moved to the Miami team, right?
Yeah.
And so is that not like a FIFA league? What's kind of like that?
It's just a United States league. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's still pro. It's everything. It's just the states, right? So over there you got different countries as far as where they're at. Here it's just the states, and then when it comes to the world stage, you got to qualify from the states to make it to the country. We're still one country, the U.S. So you got to be able to win and play against the other countries.
So it's almost like an Olympic type.
Right?
This is just MLS.
Yeah, MLS teams. So NFL. type.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
obviously
then-
NFL doesn't have national.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the U.S. team.
And then you go national.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know how that was. I just saw like the big hype of him coming to the U.S. and playing.
Kind of like if like the Dallas Mavericks, Luka, he plays for the Mavericks, but then he'll play for his home country for USA.
The
The Olympics.
Yeah. So it's just
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about
Yeah.
it.
the
I just
NBA,
saw-
and then you got the world teams, right?
Yeah.
So they'll come together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But speaking of that game, wasn't it like the third largest like MLS
Ever.
soccer game ever in Kansas City? Because they moved it to the Chiefs Stadium, right?
Yeah,
That's where they had
Arrowhead
it.
was
Arrowhead,
packed.
yeah.
It
That's
was
awesome.
it was
I
dope
love
to
that.
see.
I
It
love that for
really
Kansas
was.
City too, though. Just like I don't know.
Like I said, they winning up there,
That's what I'm
man.
saying.
There's a lot of winning going on.
Would you ever think about moving to KC? I know
try
you
to
got a
spend-
family.
I have thought about it. It is still fresh in my mind, but it's just building the network and making the move when it's
When it's
I'm
right.
ready.
Yeah. I got
when
you.
it's right. That's it.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, I'm just excited to see where you go from here. Like,
Yeah.
like
In the
seeing,
city up,
like once
yeah.
you were just like, hey, I'm going all in on this. Like I watched that live with you and Win.
I watched that too.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, like he's up, like he's ready. Like I love seeing that type of stuff.
And talk a little bit about you and Win. Like you guys are
Yeah,
best
the
friends. Well, I mean,
dynamic
that's
duo.
our
Man,
dog.
it's great. A lot of people don't know. That's just my best friend.
Yeah.
Like we grew up together. We didn't meet until freshman year of college. My best friend Avery went to school with him at Butler, and so I come back from break, and they're all just at the house kicking it. So we just all became friends. But our connection, how I tied into it was music. So I'm a big music person. I love music. And he's a producer, right? He's done all these stuff and songs. And so we would always vibe out in the car at the song. Like I'm rapping every song and, like, yeah, so that's how we vibe. But so we've been friends for years, but people still ask like, hey, this is DJ for the Win. I was like, oh yeah, I know. But people don't know because he's just a powerhouse. I mean, he's one of the biggest DJs in the city. He's doing he's been in every arena, I think, in the city now.
Yep.
And he's just doing stuff on such a big level. So have somebody as a best friend that I can just go to and help mentor me and talk about the ups and downs that he went through and how I can relate it to my life. It's a huge bonus, We're kicking it with each other. Whenever we need a session, I'm at his house, and we're on the phone. I mean, we talk almost every day, so it's just nice to have somebody with that kind of influence and just. He's done it, right? He's doing this thing and being an influencer / entrepreneur and just he quit his job too or got let go from his job and got pushed into it and he just made a way and found his passion, which was he got back to the music. And now he's just DJing and still doing this producer thing on the side.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to have somebody like for anyone, if you have somebody in your corner to be able to lean on, mentor you, and just make it feel like you're not alone.
Yeah, that's so important too, especially as solo entrepreneurs, just having, like you said, mentor, friend who are in the same lane as you. Like me and Jacob, we bounce ideas off each other all the time, like whether it's in our different respected things, but it's like always having someone there to really you can trust and who you can trust to give you feedback. Yeah. They're not just going to be a yes man. They're going to be like, yeah, that's what this is cool. Nah, dog, this is not cool.
Yes, you need that person that's going to keep it real with you and just here's why it won't work.
Yeah.
Or here's why I think it won't work, right? If you can figure it out, that's kudos. But I'm going to tell you, from my experience.
Yeah.
Or, it's just that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You need that.
No, definitely.
That's what a lot of people, don't have. And I feel bad. Because they'll post something, they'll have, all these yeses. And, I'm not always the type of guy to step out of my lane and be like, hey, nah. Because it's if we're close friends and you could understand the criticism of it. Right. But there's some people where it's man, I could tell you haven't had anybody in your corner be like, hey, bro, what are you doing?
You can tell.
And so there's some days where I'm I might play that bad guy and be like, hey, I know I'm out of pocket for this. And mainly it was video guys. Yeah. Because I'll reach out to him and be like, hey, I've been seeing this happen. What's your settings? And just kind of try to help them. Yeah. And try not to come
off. Yeah. You come out the wrong way if you approach somebody because they'll be like, man, who's this dude? Whatever.
But it's I'm just trying to help people grow.
That's it.
But having the people in your corner,
like
Hannah said, if there's a video that I'm questioning, whether it's hangover brunch or something like that, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? I'll send it off to her and just kind of get that feedback at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I like even just a small community of influencers. Like, you know, I see you, you know, every couple times a week now, just around. So it's like being able to just have a community of people and do stuff like this, get on a podcast and just, you know, talk about each other and, you know, see how you're doing things and your perspective.
Right.
I think it's cool and super important, especially like Wichita. A lot of the influencers know each other and we see each other at almost all, majority of the events. So it's cool.
Well.
It's
just
cool
build a community and, you know, you can reach out to different people like, hey, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
You know, just to bounce ideas because people just need to learn that even though you're giving up game and helping somebody, doesn't mean they're not going to know how to use it.
Yeah.
100%.
Or it may not work for them.
Yeah.
So it's just big that don't feel like you have to get something in return to give the game up.
Yeah.
You know, there may be something that you're working on and you don't want to give like deets beforehand. But I mean, if somebody's just asking you how you get started, or because I reached out to a lot of people when I first got started.
Yeah.
I'm big on I'm a people person, so I DM'd like almost every foodie that I knew, the bigger ones, and like, hey, I'm starting out. What does this look like? And I had people reach out, tell me like, you know, just kind of give me iffy answers or not even answer. Like I had somebody not even answer my questions.
Yeah.
And tell me like, I don't think anybody's made it work that way.
Oh.
You know, and it's just like, bro, I'm just asking you like any advice you can give me, not you to put me down, you know? But I won't say the name at all, but we're cool now, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I said, if you go into it with a good heart and if you need to pray about it. But like I said, giving gems away, you may think it's giving them too much, or they may become your competitor, but they still got to execute.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. It's like, I will, like, we've talked about it on the podcast too, like, anti-gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to gatekeep because it's like, dude, I will sit here. I mean, there's a couple video guys like Landon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's this young kid, and I've talked to him many times, like, hey, bro, like, this is what I've seen work for me. This is what I see that you're doing. Like, he's delivering next day content, sometimes same day content. I'm like, keep doing that.
Yes.
That's how I grew out in LA. Like, that whole thing is just run with that.
Man.
And that's where I just want to see people grow. Like, I'm such a people person as well, where it's like, yo, well, there's no reason to gatekeep. Like, Wichita is like a big enough city to where there's no reason.
Yeah.
It is. It's a big enough city. Everybody's different. You're going to come across a different way when you present it. But that's another reason why Wichita is behind.
Yeah.
That's another reason.
No,
like,
yeah.
People don't want to, not everybody, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not,
generalization.
This is just generalization. I grew up here all my life. I've heard all the behind the scenes stories. So I have a lot of evidence to back this up. But people don't want to see the next person. They don't want to be there all in when they're growing. Once they're winning, now they're liking.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to collab. We need to go eat together. But it's like, it's like if Wichita would do a better job of supporting people on the rise.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Ooh. When it comes to fashion, we wouldn't be so far behind. When it comes to being a social media content creator, we wouldn't be so far behind. And when it comes to even just businesses, look at the new businesses that open up. I'm going to give major props, little shout out to It's Cali Tapas and Tequila.
Yep.
I'm going to give a shout out to Lottie.
Yep.
I'm going to give a shout out to, what's another restaurant? But those are newer restaurants that just opened up and didn't go halfway. They went all in.
Full out. Yeah, they went all in.
That's a trend. So many restaurants want to open up and do the minimum.
Bare minimum and try and succeed the most.
Yeah.
What's it, Redbird?
Redbird.
Yeah, because when I drove past there, I thought that was Chain.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was a local guy.
Yeah, that's how good. That's how nice it is.
It looked like it was crazy. Yeah, seeing how nice that
so
one
you
was.
walk in, the aesthetics are nice. There's a process. It's just I feel like we cycle through a lot of restaurants because people go in halfway or they're not aware of everything that goes into it. But you can't go into it just for the food. Yeah, you got to go into it like you're providing a service. You're wanting people. You're building relationships, making an experience. And I mean, get the floor done, make sure it's clean. I want to feel nice when I'm in your restaurant.
Yeah.
So they set a standard that hopefully Wichita follows. Because I feel like when people are coming now or trying to start something new, they can be like, hey, what's new here? Because a lot of that's what they did. They just went around and took a little piece of that, took a little piece of that. Like, oh, okay, this is nice, like shout out to Sabor. Just where you're going, and it's a lovely experience. I feel like the restaurants that are thriving and doing very well, like they give you an experience and you feel like, okay, this is what a business is supposed to look like.
This is where I want to come back to, too.
Yeah, I want to come back,
them,
tell my friends about it, because you just had a whole experience. But, you don't want somebody to come to your restaurant like, yeah, the food was good, but it's dirty in there.
Yeah.
It all ties in. So it's just setting the standard and passing on the game. It's just, we go so far.
Yeah, just sharing the message and sharing how you got there. And like we said, anti-gatekeeping, like, if we can, even just as a city, build people up, like you said, while they're starting, we're going to, jump some years and get ahead and maybe, get to the same level as other people. And then, you always want to advance and be, higher. So if we can do that, I mean, I think we're getting there too, slowly, lately, just even like with Mark's fashion show. City showed out.
Yeah, that was amazing. I wish I was in town for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, and then just like the new restaurants that are popping up. I mean, the what was it? The tequila, what was that called?
Tapas Cali.
Yeah.
Tapas and tequila.
People have been, showing up. Every time I've gone there, it's been packed.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are supporting now, and if we can just continue that support, it'll go a long way for everybody.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you, like, there's a market for everyone here.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone. You just got to do it right, You got to, like I said, some of it's a little bit of a luck and how the cards may fall, but I think if you just go in with the, like, I need to create this standard and offer the services for people, it helps a lot. And, stop the gatekeeping.
Yep.
We can all win. There's enough for everyone.
Yes, plenty. There's
Wichita
more than enough.
is the smallest big city I know.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just we got to get rid of the small cities mindset a little bit.
Yeah, and then get back. Yeah.
Like worried about somebody surpassing you.
Yeah.
It's such like, what was it, like crabs in a bucket type of mentality where it's like you can't let that next person win.
Yeah.
And that's what's so weird to me. I noticed it really heavily in like the music industry. People are like, oh, we don't have a musician that's big from here. It's like we have a couple that have like, they've gotten some numbers, but it's like you never want to support them. It's like, oh, I'm an artist myself. I don't want to see them be bigger than me. It's like, no. If you see that person kind of take that spark and they start to go viral, support them, back them.
Yeah.
And just so it can bring light to the city. And that's my biggest thing I've noticed is like no matter what lane it is,
right?
It seems like it's people are like just trying to hold back. And it's like, bro, go all in on that person. Like,
yeah,
I will
support people.
But once they're winning, though,
hey,
like I've been there since day one.
I almost saw him.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Exactly.
That's the craziest ones. I worked a lot with like Damian Styles, who's an artist from here, and he got to LA, did a record deal and whatnot. And I'd be putting him on my Snapchat. Like, I mean, we're just best friends.
Right.
And people are like, oh, that's my cousin. And I'm like, you guys don't realize I live with, bro. Like, I'll ask him.
Right.
That's just the craziest.
Yeah. So just support people.
Yeah, because karma comes back. Good karma,
Yeah,
the universe, God will
that.
treat you right, if you treat other people right. So
yeah, I'm big on that.
Yeah,
you just got to do it for the love, man.
Exactly. Because love is an infinite thing, so it's gonna keep cycling its way back to you. If you put it out, it comes back. So
yeah, treat other people how you want to be treated.
Amen. Amen on that.
So you got any cool events coming up?
So coming up, I'm doing a wedding. We got the Hangover Brunch. Actually, we got Brunch Fest.
Yeah.
So that's this coming weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend, Sunday. Make sure you get your tickets. But man, it was fun. Last year was the inaugural event of it, so this year is going to be the second annual, and so it's a good event. And it's like you got your local restaurants coming out with the small bites. You got some drink. You got the DJ. DJ Karma's going to be on the mix. I'll be hosting an event. And man, I'm not an ordinary host. I'm big on just making sure everybody's having a good time. Like you can have a host that comes in and they're so structured or they've got to read from the pamphlet. You can do that, but the same token, I'm focused on the people.
Yeah.
Right. And so last year I feel like we had a really good time. A lot of people are looking forward to it. So yeah, That's and then we're gonna throw a 90s party.
Okay.
DJ for the win. That's coming in July. So we got some stuff in the works. You know, a couple things that may come in the works as well as the end of the year. So it's just dot I's and cross the T's.
Check it out. Follow him. Like that. I'm excited for it. I know. Like last year's brunch fest, it was just like fun, like just running around with you, and like how we were doing all like the taste tests. Stuff like that.
Getting people's experiences, or me running around to do, you know, when I was doing the giveaway. You know, just having fun with the people. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think people need to come out and just experience like you and your element with that.
Yeah. Hosting, like I said, that's where I'm. Food will always be a part, but anytime I can get in front of people, be a host, whatever it may be, to where I can use my presence. Like I said, it's like an NIL type thing. Where
100%.
I'm more than just a food personality. You know, this is Jack.Stacks. Like I said, it's who I've been all my life.
Yep.
And man, if I had a camera 10 years ago, shoot, we'd be bobbing.
Hey, you are now. You about to be. I see your future growing. Like
I'm
reach,
very grateful.
audience is going to be huge. I already know it.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. You know, it's just one of those things where it's God's timing. You know, I probably was a little bit immature back then. You know, I probably would have been the wrong light. You know, for me to maintain. But so now I'm here and I'm excited. It's a good journey. I'm excited for you guys though, you know? Let's go.
Hey, we're trying.
Hey, y'all doing.
Do a little something.
Y'all doing.
Heck yeah.
I have one more. Oh, ads.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, we're talking about the influencer space, everything like that. Have you dabbled with like within the ad space at all?
I haven't done too much, so I'm still working on that, and it's just how does that work for me?
Yeah.
How do I coordinate with these different restaurants to do so? Because right now I'm in the space of creating content for others.
Yeah.
And so I've the ad game, I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, I know how to sponsor a post and try to push it out. I don't do much of those unless we have a restaurant like trying to do like a giveaway or new something coming out. Yeah. So I've only done a handful of those. I'm big on the natural engagement, but I'm dabbling into that because that's where restaurants can benefit. Yeah. You know, as even if I'm not doing it, I can help them. Like, hey, this is how it works. These are the type of posts you should push. Yeah. Because you know, ads. You know, it's just one of those things where my mind initially is just like, man, I'm tired of seeing ads everywhere. You know, but on the other side, on the business side of it, like I said, it's the new thing. Yeah. You know, I think somebody said they put ads on Amazon Prime now.
Dude,
you know?
You can. There's so many like lanes to push it, and that's what's wondering even for yourself where. I mean, there's 2 lanes now we can discover. Like, man, you could almost go into the consulting side for businesses.
Yes.
Where it's like...
that's on my board.
Yeah, because if you can just start going into restaurants and doing their consulting work, but also, like, when you say you do a food review for this restaurant and you just, like, put $25 on it even. Yeah. Like, and run it for, like, 3 days, 4 days to just kind of get that post buzzing, it'll help with your... reach over time as well, because then there'll be more people, and it's something you can push to them as a promotion package. You're like, hey, if say you're doing this review out of kindness or heart, you're just doing it for free. It's like, hey, would you mind throwing me $50 to throw on ads? Like, let's really get this out there. Like, my organic reach is really good, but let's double down on it.
And ads can help organic reach. So a lot of people think like. If an ad isn't organic at all, but it can produce organic reach after the fact. So I've only dabbled in ads for like businesses, but I've thought about doing it just for my personal page with a business because it does create a buzz of organic reach that come to it, and I just found that out. So
yeah, I definitely have noticed it a lot with like the festive stuff. So I help with a bunch of their ads and everything. Yeah, and I've been realizing. Like the reach that we can get, especially with the food content. I mean, I'll talk to you a little bit later about one of the posts, but I mean, it's doing well. And so that's where I'm thinking for yourself, even if it's like $25-$30, where you just throw on it and don't do the boost post button. Don't do that. Do it through the ads manager.
The meta ad.
Yeah, I definitely think just doing maybe like one a week on those, just to like further your reach a little bit more. Okay, I think it could be really cool.
Yeah. No, so, I'm always open to ideas, so I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
So, anything?
I'm good, I think. What are we at on time?
Just over an hour.
Oh, that was a nice little, I guess we could wrap it up then.
Yeah. Cool.
Perfecto.
So where can they find you?
Jack.Stacks.Eats on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is going to be Jack.Stacks-Eats. I'm even on Twitter or X.
Oh.
But yeah, Jack.Stacks.Eats at Gmail's where you can contact me. But I have a lot of those links on my social media pages.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course.
Cool.
This was good.
Yeah.